what's up guys? It's your boy Cno back for day 3 of the league's teasers. They only released one new relic today, so it's a tier 8 relic, but unfortunately we don't have a lot to go over because it's just one relic and we can't put it up against the other relics in that same tier or anything. This is what the Guardian relic has been in the past. They're calling it Minion this time, but this is your badass decked out thrall basically. Let's look at exactly what it's going to provide. If you choose this relic, it'll give you the minion whistle, and that's how you summon this little guy. Once you summon him, he's going to be up for 30 minutes, which is par for the course in the past with the Guardian relics. When you summon him, he's automatically going to assume the fighting style that your NPC, that your target is weakest to. So if you're fighting something weak to mage, he'll fight mage. Weak to range, he'll fight range. Weak to melee, he will fight melee, so on and so forth, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about misclicking your thralls, bringing up the wrong one, all that jazz. If you're fighting multiple NPCs at once and they are weak to range or mage, he can do an area of effect attack that'll hit almost all of them, which is super nice. His base stats are going to be a minimum hit of 3, a maximum hit of 10. He's going to have a 1.8 tick attack speed and an accuracy of 4,500. That's all pretty good, par for the course. The cool thing that they did with this thrall is you can have him consume up to 5 unique equipable Zamorak items. So an imbued Zamorak Mage Cape, for example, anything like that, you can have him consume up to 5 of those, and that'll bring his max hit up to 20. So I feel like that really stacks this guy out and makes it a much better relic. It really gives it a little more oomph, if you know what I mean. So I like that. You know, a max hit of 20 with the 1.8 tick attack speed is pretty good. I'd have to say they did really good there. A couple other things that he can do, the thrall, is he will automatically loot items from creatures that you kill, including fired ranged ammo, and you can put a value threshold and have it be noted or unnoted and stuff like that. So it's really personable to whatever you're doing, whatever you're killing, however you want to do it. That's huge quality of life, and I feel like it adds a lot of points to this as a relic. And then a couple other things, it can deal damage to targets that are typically immune to thralls in the main game. For example, summoning it in the Vorkath instance and stuff like that, which is really nice. And then the lore behind this little guy is that he is one of Yama's minions, so he can't fight against Yama. He won't fight against him at all. And then you can't use it in PvP fights if you've selected Wilderness as one of your areas. So all that being said, I feel like this relic's really good. I feel like they've done some really good things here to make it much more viable as a thrall relic versus the other ones that it'll go up against. From what I hear from the community and some of my friends, traditionally the thrall relic is the least valuable one in whatever given tier they put it in. So I like that they've tried to bolster it and give it some more bonuses, you know, as far as max attack, max hit goes. And then the quality of life with the automatic looting is really nice too. I think that was pretty clever, and it'll give it some bonus points. The problem here is I don't know what else is in tier 8 for the relics, the other 2 relics, so I can't really say one way or another how good it weighs up. And the problem that creates is one of 2 things is probably going to happen. One thing being, when they release the other 2 tier 8 relics, they will both kind of suck, which will make the minion relic seem better. But then that sucks to have 2 relics that are not as good as we feel they should be, especially being the tier 8 relic. Or the other 2 tier 8 relics blow the thrall relic out of the water per usual, and not a lot of people choose it. So I feel like they've done a lot of work here to make the thrall relic better and hold its own in whatever tier they put it in, this time being tier 8. But I can only speculate so much without knowing what the other 2 relics are going to be in tier 8. So since this video was a little bit shorter because they only released the 1 relic, I wanted to talk about the tier effects, bring that up. I should have done that in video 1, but it doesn't matter. We'll do it now, and it's good to know it's nothing huge or shiny, but it'll tell you what you unlock in every tier and help you plan your strategy going into leagues. So right off the rip, you're automatically in tier 1. All your skills and combat XP will be multiplied by 5. Items from eligible sources will become 2 times as common, so that's just your item drop rates will be 2 times as common. Your farming ticks will occur every minute instead of every 5. Minigame points are boosted by 4 times, and your run energy never drains. I'm pretty sure the run energy being unlimited is something that it's just going to be a staple going forward, but it's good to know that we have it. All clue scrolls will drop as stackable scroll boxes, and clue step progress is saved between clues, which is really nice. Because if you guys don't know, in the main game, when they release the scroll boxes, if you try and juggle them and do multiple steps on different scrolls and different clues, it'll cancel it out, and you're automatically starting at the first step every time you pick up a new one. So that's nice to know. And then it says players will only receive clue steps that they can access in their unlocked regions. I know they've said this in the past and they've had issues with it, so hopefully they've gotten that tightened up this time. But in Tier 2, you don't get a lot. Your multiplier for XP just goes from 5 to 8. Nothing really that big. For Tier 3, there's some really big things in there. Your combat experience is going to gain an additional 0.5%, 1.5% on the multiplier. So, I guess not percent, but an additional 1.5 times. So that'll bring your combat XP, including hit points and prayer, up to 9.5 times. So 100 XP drop will be 950. The bigger and badder Slayer unlock is unlocked for free, and that's your superiors. So any Slayer monster with a superior variant, that's what you would have to buy traditionally to unlock that, but you will get it for free. And then your Slayer points are boosted by 5 times, which I think that's a huge reason to rush to Tier 3. That's super, super nice. You're going to be able to get your rune pouch, your herb sack, stuff like that. Really nice to have. It says that you're not required to complete 5 tasks before earning points, like you usually would when you start a new account. I'm assuming that you're probably going to have 5 Slayer tasks already completed by the time you hit Tier 3, but maybe not. And then your superior Slayer monsters are going to spawn a little more common at a rate chance of 1 in every 50 kills. So pretty good there. Once you go to Tier 4, your drop rate is going to be boosted to 5 times, which is pretty nice. And then your minigame points are boosted to 8 times, up from 4 times. When you go to Tier 5, the multiplier for all experience goes from 8 to 12. And then in Tier 6, you don't gain anything. In Tier 7, you go from 12 times experience in all skills and combat, from 12 to 16. And that's going to be your last boost. So you don't gain anything extra in Tier 8, and that is the long and short of it. I would say, obviously, you want to rush to Tier 7. You want the biggest multiplier you can have. But I think a good goal to set is rushing to Tier 3. The Slayer points being 5 times, it's really, 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 really good to have. Like I said, you're going to get your herb sack, your rune pouch, Slayer rings for teleports. All that kind of stuff is going to be so much nicer to unlock ASAP. So having that 5 times boost is really important. But like I said, nothing shiny there, just kind of a nice layout to know what you're going to have going into this leagues. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I had some good advice or give you a good perspective on the new relic, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Please drop in the comments below if you think the Thrall relic will succeed this leagues, or if it's going to get blown out of the water by the other 2 Tier 8 relics. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out.